Beneath the grandeur of Windsor Castle, locked away from prying eyes, lies one of the most secretive and influential collections of documents in the world. The Royal Archives. While we think we know the history of the British monarchy, the truth is, we've only seen the tip of the iceberg. The real stories, the ones that shaped empires and decided the fate of millions, are buried deep within these vaults, under a pact of silence that has lasted for centuries. Today, we're going to pull back the velvet curtain and explore the secrets of the Crown's silent pact. What really lies within the Royal Archives? These aren't just dusty letters or old diaries. We're talking about confidential documents, secret agreements, and unseen correspondence that could rewrite history as we know it. Imagine a hidden world where monarchs and prime ministers made pacts that were never recorded in official parliamentary records, decisions made in hushed tones that altered the course of wars and redrew the maps of nations. For generations, the Royal Archives have been a fortress, protecting the monarchy's most sensitive information. Access is notoriously difficult, granted only to a select few approved historians who are often bound by strict rules of confidentiality. Why such secrecy? Because within these papers lie truths that were deemed too dangerous, too scandalous, or too politically explosive for public consumption. These documents contain the unvarnished reality of power, the backroom deals, the personal rivalries, and the moments of crisis that were deliberately kept from the history books. Let's consider the abdication crisis of 1936. The official story is that King Edward VIII gave up the throne for love to marry Wallis Simpson. But what if there was more to it? Whispers and fragments from the archives suggest deeper political concerns. Was the government worried about his political sympathies, his unconventional style, or his potential to be a disruptive force in an already tense Europe? The full correspondence between the king, his Prime Minister Stanley Baldwin, and other key figures remains sealed. The documents that could reveal the true nature of the pressure placed upon him are locked away, leaving us with a simplified, romanticized version of a complex political event. The real story isn't just about love. It's about power, control, and the preservation of the institution above all else. Then there are the wars. We study the great speeches and the famous battles, but the archives hold the secrets of the monarchy's influence behind the scenes. During World War I, King George V was cousins with both Tsar Nicholas II of Russia and Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany. An entire network of family letters, known as the Cousins Correspondence, exists within the archives. While some have been published, many remain unseen. What did they say to each other as their empires crumbled and Europe descended into chaos? Were there attempts at secret peace deals? Were personal family dynamics influencing military strategy? These documents hold the potential to show us a completely different dimension of the war. One fought not on the battlefields, but in private letters between conflicted rulers. The silence surrounding these records isn't accidental. It's a deliberate strategy to present a unified, patriotic front, erasing the messy, human complexities of a family at war with itself. The influence extends beyond war and politics. Think about the end of the British Empire. The official narrative is one of a gradual, dignified transition of power, but the archives likely contain a different story. What secret assurances were given to Commonwealth leaders? What deals were struck to protect British economic interests as colonies gained independence? These are not just historical footnotes. They are decisions that have had a lasting impact on the global economy and international relations. The monarchy's role was not just ceremonial. It was an active participant in managing the decline of an empire, and the records of that participation are among the most heavily guarded. So why is this knowledge considered so forbidden? It's because these records contain more than just political secrets. They hold personal scandals, royal betrayals, and uncomfortable truths that could tarnish the carefully crafted image of the crown. Imagine letters detailing bitter family feuds, or medical records revealing hereditary illnesses, or even evidence of collaborations that would be seen as deeply controversial today. The monarchy's power is built on mystique, tradition, and an image of unwavering stability. Exposing the messy, flawed, and all too human reality behind the institution could shake its very foundations. The pact of silence is a pact of survival, but truth has a way of finding its way to the surface, often through the relentless work of dedicated historians. In recent years, Scholars have begun to piece together fragments of this hidden history. By cross-referencing public records with newly declassified government files and memoirs, they've started to glimpse the shadows of these secret pacts. One historian researching a seemingly minor political event might stumble upon a reference to a private letter from the monarch that is nowhere to be found in the public domain. This single reference can become the key that unlocks a hidden narrative, a breadcrumb trail leading back to the archives. These modern-day detectives risk their careers and reputations to challenge the official story. They petition for access, they fight against censorship, and they spend years piecing together a puzzle with most of the pieces missing. Every once in a while, a document is declassified, or a leak occurs, giving us a brief, tantalizing look at what's been hidden. For example, documents released in recent years have shown the extent of the Queen's personal intervention in legislation to protect her private wealth from public scrutiny, a process known as Queen's consent. This revelation came not from the royal archives, but from government records, showing how the Crown's influence operates silently across different branches of the state. This brings us to the central theme of this entire story: the relationship between power, secrecy, and legacy. For the monarchy, secrecy is a tool to preserve authority. By controlling the narrative, they control their legacy. By keeping their influence behind closed doors, they maintain an aura of being above politics, even while actively shaping it. The Silent Pact is a declaration that the institution's survival is more important than the public's right to know its own history. However, this pact is now facing its greatest challenge. In an age of information, where transparency is increasingly demanded of our institutions, the idea of a secret, state-funded archive is becoming harder to defend. The argument that these secrets are too dangerous to reveal is wearing thin. Is it really about protecting the nation, or is it about protecting a family's reputation? As time passes, the danger of these truths fades, yet the doors to the archives often remain shut. The story of the Royal Archives is not just about the past, it's about the present. It forces us to ask fundamental questions about our society. How much of our history is hidden from us? Who gets to decide what we are allowed to know? And what is the true cost of this secrecy? The silence from Windsor Castle is deafening, but the echoes of the secrets it holds are all around us. In the political landscape, the global order, and the very stories we tell ourselves about who we are. The Crown's Silent Pact has held for centuries, but as new generations of historians and citizens demand answers, the walls of the archives are beginning to show cracks. The forbidden knowledge held within will not stay buried forever. The truth, as they say, will out, and when it does, it won't just change our understanding of the monarchy. It will change our understanding of ourselves. Thanks so much for watching. If you're fascinated by the hidden stories that shape our world, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We have plenty more secrets to uncover together. See you in the next video.